Do you ever find yourself thinking, something's gotta change? Like, something's gotta change in my life. Like, you have hit a rut and you feel stuck in some way. I want you to tune into this episode to learn how to reinvent yourself and level up. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Tiffany Shelton, neuropsychologist, published author, and founder of Mod Ambition. Every week I'm posting videos. And if you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button, as well as hitting that like button will really help out this channel. By the end of this episode, you're going to know 3 key aspects of reinventing yourself and why it's such an important process to undertake every couple of years, I believe. I have certainly seen myself evolve over the years, and I'm so glad I took the time to intentionally better myself throughout my life by doing the conscious work and sitting down to really think about who it is I want to be. As cliche as the butterfly metamorphosis analogy is, reinventing yourself is much like the process of developing your new self in a cocoon to then finally emerge as a beautiful butterfly ready to soar. I certainly believe you deserve the freedom to evolve, and I can't wait to share my tips with you and to hear if you want to share how you plan to reinvent yourself, if you want to share in the comments below. So Lao Tzu said, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. And let me tell you, that is a word right there, at least in my opinion, because becoming that higher version of yourself requires a letting go of what no longer serves you. And in doing so, you cement the fact that you have the power to shape your identity. That is your divine right. That is your power. If there's something about your life, your work, or your personality, or your relationships, you have the power to change it. Your true self, which I believe is the God that dwells within, is not confined by any identity or life traits, but instead it is always seeking to expand, always seeking to grow, to evolve, take up more space. So recently I heard someone on a podcast, and I can't remember which podcast or who it was, but I heard them say, I think it's valuable to reinvent yourself every 3 years. And when I heard that, I really felt that in my soul, because it's so true. We're constantly growing if we're open to it, and healthy shedding is required for growth. We won't always be the same or want the same things. And not only is that okay, I believe that that's really, really beautiful. So in today's episode, as I share my tips, I'm going to share with you all my own current process to reinvent myself, which you may have noticed on my YouTube channel if you are a subscriber, sort of like a change of content, maybe some new ways that I am showing up. And hopefully, if you're still here, you're vibing with it. So for many years now, I've blogged, vlogged, and created content about manifestation and manifesting your dreams. Within this sphere of manifestation, I've talked about all things mindset when it comes to making your dreams a reality. I even started my own coaching program, Dream Life Academy. I'm happy to say over the last couple of years, I've been able to help so many people manifest things like love, babies, and dream jobs. I've been pretty content trekking along, providing content on manifestation, and it's been really rewarding to see how it's helping change people's lives. In the background, I'm a full-time neuropsychologist. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 2, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, a business owner, and a published author. Juggling all the things was starting to become overwhelming. And at the same time, my clients were going through a parallel process, trying to implement all the strategies that they're learning in my program. When I had my 2 babies and due to COVID, for some reason I had gotten out of the habit of using a paper planner, but I quickly reinstated the practice when life was just starting to become a little bit too much, and I started advising my clients on how to do the same thing. So how to practically implement having it all and making your dreams come true, and helping you use that planner to implement some of the things that I was teaching and how to do it in a way that wasn't so stressful. I quickly found out that the planners on the market, since I was telling people to get a planner, I was getting one for myself. They weren't meeting my needs, and I was using 3 planners just to get everything I wanted out of the planner, and none of them matched my aesthetic or my vibe. I remember looking online for one and being shocked by how many floral, bright colored planners were out there, which is just not my vibe. So then I decided to create a manifestation planner printable for my own selfish use, and eventually started selling it to my clients and online to help them manifest and to use all of these techniques in their daily life. The response was so great. I was helping more people access my manifestation strategies, and people seemed to really, really like this planner printable and like the content that it had in there. So this eventually led me to wanting to create my own physical planner since I knew I was onto something. So then I decided I wanted to create a luxury planner that women could invest in, that came with everything they needed to plan for success, including a goal planner, pens, sticky notes, all the things, and every type of planning, because no planner had that. So quarterly planning, monthly, weekly, and daily planning pages. And it had to match my modern aesthetic vibe. And I really got into developing this product. So much of my coaching in my Dream Life Academy involved helping ambitious women feel less overwhelmed in their journey. And I want to infuse a planner with all the practical tools to have it all without overwhelm. So I know this is a long story, but I'm getting to the point. I'm telling you all this so you can understand my own journey to reinventing myself and kind of where I am in the process right now. So through this process of developing this modern luxury planner that had all the things that I wanted, I've realized that I have much more to say than just speaking about manifestation mindset. I'm also very interested in the practical day-to-day strategies to plan, prepare, and productively execute all the things required to be successful. I want to talk about balancing it all without doing it all, what to do after you manifest that dreamy life, and how do we juggle all the things on our never-ending to-do list. Those are all things that I'm very interested in talking about and sharing what's worked for me. So yes, while I want to continue helping people manifest their dreams, I want to allow myself to expand and also talk about how to balance all the abundance you already have in life, like family life, home life, work life, etc. And what also comes with that is wanting to reinvent myself into the business founder and entrepreneur that I know I can be. I so admire women like Emma Grede, I think that's how you say her name. She's the founder of co-founder of Good American and Skims. Monique Rodriguez, the CEO of Mael Organics. Ariane Simone, the co-founder of Fearless Fun. Greta Van Riel, who is the founder of Drop Bottle, and Shay McGee, who is the founder of Studio McGee, and so many other amazing women founders that I could name, but those are just some of my inspirations that I want to talk about. And I'm ready to reinvent myself into the businesswoman that I know I can be. I know without a doubt, with 100% certainty, that I have it in me. Anyone that knows me will probably tell you I've been a natural businesswoman since I was a little girl. I sold candy out of my backpack when I was in elementary school. I produced a fashion show and sold tickets when I was in high school. And I've always had some sort of side hustle to my psychology work that I do. So while psychologist, writer, and manifestation coach will still be part of the way that I want to create impact, I know I can also offer tremendous value to this world by creating a successful company that helps ambitious women. So I say all this to say, let's get into how I plan to reinvent myself into the businesswoman I know I can be, and talk about things that are also interesting me outside of manifestation, and how you too can reinvent yourself into anyone that you want to be. The first thing you want to do, and to explain these things, I should preface, I'm going to use the analogy of, let's say, who you want to reinvent yourself to is a destination you are going to on a trip or a journey, right? It's somewhere you want to get to. So the first step is to get in the driver's seat. And what I mean by that is you want to give yourself permission to imperfectly grow into this new version of yourself on your journey to reinvent yourself. And so by getting in the driver's seat, I mean, you want to take ownership that you're doing this for you, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You don't want to do it miserably either. You want to do it in a way that allows you to grow and unfold and face challenges or face imperfections with grace. You also want to forget about pleasing other people and focus on what makes you happy. So like I said, I'll be using myself as an example here on my YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast, I've been YouTubing for years about manifestation, and I kind of felt like I couldn't talk about anything else after a while, because I didn't want to be a flip-flopper. I don't want people to see me and be like, what is she? She's always changing what she's talking about. I don't want to seem unfocused or scattered. So all these thoughts of like how I'm going to come off and no one's, going to watch it, have kind of prevented me from talking about any other things besides manifestation, essentially because it's my niche, right? It's my niche. But nah, not down for that. Like, I want to give myself permission to focus on and do what I want to do. And I changed. So I won't say I changed in the fact that I don't never want to talk about manifestation, because that's not true. I still actually really like teaching people how to manifest, and I apply the techniques in my life very stringently. So it's always something that I'm kind of percolating on. So I'll definitely continue to be talking about it. But in addition to that, I also want to talk about other things, how I'm building a business, how I'm, juggling it all, how I'm running my house, how I'm managing all these things I manifested, like these 2 babies that are exhausting and this husband that I want to keep a good marriage with. So I am giving myself permission to do what makes me happy in my content. That's going to allow me to show up more authentically, not get us bored in my content. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. And I know some people may not be into that, and that's okay. They can unsubscribe or unfollow or whatever they want to do. And I don't say that in a malicious way. I think people should do that, if you're following people that no longer are interested in you. And I know other people that they'll continue to vibe with what I'm posting because it'll be about what interests them. So I'm giving myself that permission. I know the algorithm is going to take a while to figure out how the heck to show my videos and what I'm talking about now, but I think it'll work itself out. And at the end of the day, this is something that I'm choosing to do, and I want to do it in a way that feels freeing, not like prison. And I invite you to do the same. And so in doing that, you want to start to reevaluate what's most important to you. And why do you want to reinvent yourself? What values of yours have changed, and what values are driving this motivation to reinvent yourself? So as we grow, our values and the way we prioritize what's most important to us changes over time. And that's what should be leading the destination or the route to get to what it is that you want to get to, and helping you define who that is kind of deciding what are my values. So for me, if I'm thinking about that, of what's changed from when I started this journey of impact using manifestation techniques, and how it's changing now into wanting to be more of a businesswoman, I think the values for me that have changed are obviously becoming a mother. That's number one. So I know that I need to help more people, but in less time. And I think products are a good way to do that. They're also more accessible to people because not everyone could afford my coaching program, which was either group or one-to-one. It changed throughout the years. So I know a planner is much more accessible, and that's important to me as far as my values go. But a big part of my values is getting more bang for my buck when it comes to time. And then also being able to create something that I can pass on to either my children or pass on in a way of exiting, so I can provide more for my children. As you can tell, I love those kiddos. So yeah, and thinking about that, how could I create something that's going to give me more freedom? And so working one-to-one is not that scalable in that way. And I guess that sums that up of kind of what values around that have changed for me, and how I'm giving myself grace to lean into those things. Another thing is to give yourself grace to focus. I think that so many times, especially if you're a passionate person, we can have all these endeavors and all these ideas and all these passions and all these things that we want to do. And I'm talking about myself here, but I know a lot of people have this in common. And we can do things that stretch us in a million different directions, and we never get to harness all of our energy into one thing. Like, my word of the year this year is streamline. And so I'm taking that wholeheartedly. I'm already a neuropsychologist. I'm already a mom and wife. When it comes to my business, I don't want to split myself in multiple different directions. I don't want to be doing coaching business and trying to lift a business off the ground and, creating content about manifestation and a separate outlet for, things I'm talking about when it comes to planning and organization and life stuff. So I want to be able to focus all my efforts into one thing. So I don't know what that looks like now, but I want to give myself that grace because I know how much more impactful I can be if I'm not pulling myself in a million different directions. And that can probably be for you too when it comes to reinventing yourself, is really focus on that one direction that you're trying to go and allow some things to either be on pause or to be eliminated. Like, prioritize and allow yourself to really give energy into this new being that you're trying to create, if that makes sense. And then before we move on to step 2, I just want to remind you guys quickly that this episode is brought to you by my new company, My Ambition, which I've been telling you guys about. It is a planner company that is dedicated to helping ambitious, busy women have it all without the overwhelm, without the stress. Our first product is a planner. It's launching July 12th. If you want to see what it looks like, here's a little sneak peek, but you can see all the details and the pictures at the link below. It's signup.modambition.com and take a look there. So let's just jump back right into these tips. So the second tip is to decide the destination. So really being intentional about how you want to reinvent yourself. And there's a couple of things you can do. You can start by defining who she is. Give her a name her with adjectives. I do this in my program. It's called Acting as If, where I have my students go through an exercise of who it is they truly want to become. What does she look like? What does she dress like? How does she handle stress? What does her home look like? What does she do for fun? How does she eat? What's her career? All those things to really define who it is that you are becoming. One of my previous avatars that I was becoming was boss mom Tiffany. I am in fact now a boss in my job and a mom. And so now I'm re-evaluating that name, redefining that for myself. I'm headed towards mogul mom. Hold me accountable. It would be great to come back and show you how that's true one day, but start for yourself defining who she is. Then what I did, which I think is very helpful, we're going to solidify this in your brain. So this is the neuropsychologist and me coming out. We want to put it in your brain on the visual side and on the audio side. And what that does, it helps your brain wrap around the real feeling, sensation, emotion of what it is that you want, and it's going to help you get there faster because our brains are wired once we have a destination in mind to get there. That's just kind of the way we have evolved. It helped us as human beings. If you needed to go hunt, you had a goal in mind and you go get there. If you needed to tend the field or raise the babies, we get tunnel vision for the things that we want. And so one of the ways you're going to do that visually is you're going to create a reinvention vision board. So it's different than a regular vision board, just about all your goals. This is about specifically who you want to be. It's not necessarily about what you want to have or things you want to bring into your life, but it's about who you want to be. You can put inspirational folks on there. You can put like how you want to dress on there, like your style, those sorts of things, like how you want to show up in the world. So think of it in a context. Yes, it's similar to like a goals vision board, but it's really about who you want to reinvent yourself about. And then on the audio side, to infuse it in your brain, I want you to create a playlist that you can play maybe every day, maybe a couple times a week, that you can listen to maybe when you're working out, that really gets you pumped and gives the energy, gives the vibe of who it is that you're becoming. So it's kind of like an anthem playlist or a theme song list of who it is you're becoming. So I don't know, you might put some Flawless on there. You might put some, let's see, for me, if I'm starting to create mine, I have a few in mind on a YouTube playlist, and I'm trying to think of what else is on there besides Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, but you get the point. The songs that uplift you, that make you lean into the energy of who it is that you're becoming. And then my third tip is to let the new version of yourself do the driving. So you want to start to embody who this person is now and show up for as you are already her, with passion for the woman that you are becoming. So if you remember those WWJD bracelets, it's much like that, except for it's what would mogul mom Tiffany do in this situation? How is she going to show up? She's working out every day. She's waking up. She's eating healthy. She's, handling stress. She's present when she's with her kids. She's putting boundaries on work. So guess what? That's how I'm showing up. She's focused. That's how I'm showing up. And I really wanted to create this video in that sense because I want to share with you guys where I am and why you might see some types of different content on my YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast, it's going to be all the same, kind of leaning more into the energy of what I've been posting on the podcast and changing all my other content to kind of match that, as well as the way that I show up in my life. So doing this video is kind of like a milestone for me and really important. And if you made it this far in the video, I thank you. And I would love to hear how you are reinventing yourself in the comments below. Also, before I finish out this tip, I want you to take actions that are directly aligned with who it is you're becoming. So decide what are those smart mini goals, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely things that you need to be doing probably every day that are going to bring you closer to who it is you want to become, and taking those actions on a regular basis and being consistent with these actions. And I will say, shamelessly, that the Mod Ambition Planner I created has really helped me just do just that. So with the goal planner, I put in where I'm going, and the actual strategies on the planning pages are helping me get there and helping me show up, do it consistently, especially dealing with life's challenges like my kids constantly home from daycare, which just happened, and things like that. So if you have some sort of tool like the Mod Ambition Planner to help you kind of stay organized and taking those actions so you can be more consistent and become this person even quicker.